What's good, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. So George Foreman just passed away, age 76. We got to talk about this one. I'm going to allow YouTube to send the notifications out. As you enter, make sure you thumb the video up. Let's talk about life right now. Let's talk about the late and great George Foreman, former heavyweight champion of the world, former Olympic gold medalist, former brawler, former philanthropist, former preacher, former entrepreneur. So George Foreman passed away, age 76. Now I got a lot of questions about this. First and foremost, I want to put it out there that I do understand that 76 years old is a full life. And I'm sure he enjoyed it. He had abundance. He was a man of the Most High. You know, I was just looking at George Foreman hit the heavy bag, and it really inspired me. At age 76, seeing George Foreman do what he did, and I believe the video I seen, he was about 75, and I seen him hitting that heavy bag, and it just inspired me. You know, being a younger man and just still being up there. I'm up there in age, but being a younger man, seeing a 75-year-old man hit the bag the way George hit it, I was like, man, you know, this man is still packing a lot of power. And I know all about George Foreman's story. I follow his career. I believe he is definitely one of my top five boxers, greatest of all time. Um, you know, I've been very closely knit to the boxing world, and this is a great loss, in my opinion. And, you know, his family just took to social media, and they're extremely mournful over the whole scenario. And it's official. And, you know, one thing that I noticed, though, right off the bat, the first thing I noticed, right, is that they never tell you the reason for death. Like, I don't know what it is this day and age. They never tell you the cause of death. They never give you any autopsy reports. And I find that kind of troubling because he looks so strong at his age. And the way he was hitting that bag, it just kind of bothers me that they could just tell you somebody dies nowadays and they don't never give you a cause of death. Was it his heart? Was it his livers, his kidneys? Like, what took place? What internal organ was affected? What happened to George Foreman? You know, and these are the type of things that I ask, and you know, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I've been seeing this number 76 a whole lot ever since the plane crash that took place in Philadelphia. I've been seeing 76 everywhere when it comes to celebrity deaths. And it can sometimes come in the form of 67 as well. And, you know, this numerology is real. Like, I don't know if they playing some gematria type of stuff, but a lot of celebrities have lost their lives, and then these numbers always pop up. You know, I'm not one who likes to believe in coincidences. So when I see these type of things, it just stands out to me, right? I don't know, for whatever reason, it really stands out to me. And I don't know if they playing in our faces or whatever the case is, but you know, those are the questions I got immediately when it comes to George Foreman passing. Yeah, it seems very ritualistic. But nonetheless, I want to remember the life of George Foreman because, as I said before, those just joining, I am very like tightly um, knit in the boxing community. I follow fighters. I follow their careers. You know, I've been educated to the way of the glove, and I definitely looked at George Foreman as one of those guys. One of those guys that should be respected because he turned his life around. You know, he had a troubled youth. He was a troubled youth, rather, and his upbringings were very humble. He'd been through the storm, made his way out of it, gave his life to the Lord, um, guided and led his family. You know, he's a family man, and he was a grandfather. He was a husband. He was just somebody that you can really look at and say, you know what, that's a respectable brother right there. And just seeing this story, you know, really raised some eyebrows because we would hope to live to that age. We aspire to be 76. We aspire to make it to that golden age. We aspire to be, you know, tested in the arena and still be able to age gracefully and have strength, power, and valor. And I have an immense respect for my elders, and I'm just completely, completely just, I'm completely affected by the death of George Foreman. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I see people in the chat. I see y'all rolling in. Make sure y'all get the thumbs up. Um, JH the Great, man, what's up? He says, that's the thing, man. They always go after those who came to the Most High. Some people who probably took the oath, but still got the God given fire in them. Yeah, I mean, George Foreman was one of those guys that did what he did in the ring, but when his time was up, he knew how to adapt. He came with the Foreman grill. He had the entrepreneur mindset. The Foreman grill blew up, and it was like it was always meant for him to have some level of success. And that's what I got from George Foreman. But any righteous man is always supposed to have some level of success, and all the endeavors that they pursue, they are supposed to have some level of, you know, valor in their lives, some level where they're standing on top. That's the champ, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely see George Foreman as one of those guys. Pardon me. Somebody said, all our black men are leaving. We are devastated. We have no black and heritage, and it's devastating to a young black male. Somebody said, peace and blessings, everyone. Somebody said, all the kids' name is George, even the girls. Yeah, 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 yeah. George Foreman, wow for that. Yeah, he was naming all his kids after his name. Yeah, that's wild. But hey, he know that that name is gonna carry on, man. A lot of people don't make it to age 76 and to have an illustrious career such as George Foreman, but he did his thing. He did his thing. There's quite a few fights that actually come to mind when I think of Foreman. Of course, the Thriller in Manila. That's number one. Believe it or not, y'all, Muhammad Ali was the underdog. Muhammad Ali was the underdog in the Thriller in Manila. All the historian knows all about. They listen. All the boxing fanatics know that rumble in the jungle. Yeah, the rumble in the jungle, the thriller in Manila. Look, we all know that George Foreman was a better fighter, bro. Like on paper, anyway. You looking at it, everybody thought. Matter of fact, let me tell y'all, everybody thought George Foreman was going to kill Muhammad Ali, like literally kill him. That's how heavy handed this man was. They was like, man, Muhammad Ali getting in there with George Foreman. George Foreman's going to kill Muhammad Ali. See, those who know know. You know what I'm saying? Even at 75, that man was hitting that bag like crazy. Somebody said, more than a great fighter, he was a great, kind-hearted man. Yep. Yeah, you know, and you can see it on him. As he aged, he was like a jolly giant. You know what I'm saying? But you still didn't want to play with him. You look at George Foreman as he aged, man. When he was in his youth, George Foreman had that look. It's like his whole countenance changed as he aged because he had the Most High, man. The Most High was with him. He was just a loving person. He was a family man, loved his kids, loved his family. He had all kind of philanthropist endeavors. The man was just a decent person. So you can see it on him. Yeah, the man was a class act. Let's give him his flowers. Somebody said, kind man, but he broke your body parts. Yeah, man. Yeah, so I just wanted to come through with this video and say rest in peace to George Foreman, man. I'm pretty sure that the boxing analysts and socialists are, going to be reacting and making their videos about this. I wanted to jump in front of it as well because, he was just a good fighter, a good person, somebody we can look up to in a sense, not idolize, but see what they did, see the footprints that they made, and give honor where honor is due, give respect where respect is due. Anyway, nonetheless, hey, listen, everybody, y'all have a blessed evening. I just want to come through and talk about the life of George Foreman, and hopefully some details come out about how he lived his what took his life actually. I would like to know that. We don't get autopsy reports these days. We don't get any real information on what really took place. And I would like to know. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can have the details etched out and we can know, you know. Hopefully this ain't another ritual, another sacrifice. The industry's wicked. But hey, the man lived his life. We're gonna show respect to him. RIP to George Foreman. Y'all be blessed out there. Shalom and peace.